Hey, what's up everyone, it's your girl Brain Shanae, and today I'll be sharing with you my February TBR. So there's going to be a lot happening in February. Of course, it is Black History Month, and I'm going to be also participating in a lot of readathons and also read-alongs. So the first thing I'm participating in is the Black-a-thon 2022, which was created by Jessie from Bow Ties and Books. And they have created such an amazing job with this readathon. I'm so excited to participate. I wasn't able to participate the last couple of years, and I definitely want to do it this year. And I'm going to be on team SFF, which is sci-fi and fantasy. So I cannot wait to share with the books I'll be reading, which I'll be reading 3 books. So for the first prompt is a book that explores the duality of loyalty or betrayal. Now this is not sci-fi, but it is fantasy. So I'm going to go with Akata Woman by Nicky. This is the 3rd installment of her Akata trilogy. So I'm thinking it's a trilogy. I'm not sure if this is going to be the final book or not. But I definitely cannot wait to read this. This came out in January, and I just love the cover overall. And of course, it has the duality of betrayal and loyalty within this book. So I feel like this would be the perfect book to read. And then for the synopsis, it says, from the moment Sunny Nwazi discovered she had mystical energy flowing in her blood, she sought to understand and control her powers. Throughout her adventures in Akata Witch and Akata Warrior, she had to navigate the balance between nearly everything in her life, America and Nigeria, the normal world, and the one infused with juju, human and spirit, good daughter, and powerful leopard person. Now, those hard lessons and abilities are put to the test in a quest so dangerous and fantastical, it would be madness to go, but it may destroy the world if she does not. With the help of her loyal friends, Sunny bravely embarks on a mission to find a precious object hidden deep in a magical realm. Defeating the guardians of the prize will take more from Sunny than she has to give, and triumph will mean she will be forever changed. So yes, I definitely cannot wait to read this. I've been wanting to read this for so long. Like, I read the first 2 books within a month, and now I definitely cannot wait to know more about Sunny and her quest. So I felt like this book will be a perfect book for this prompt. Now, this next prompt is going to be a book with trans spectrum representation, and I'm thinking I'm gonna go with Bitter by Akweki Emezi. This is their companion book to Pet, so I definitely thought this would be a great book to read. It's not very long. I think it's only like 272 pages altogether, but I am looking forward to knowing more about the character and everything. I loved Pet. I read Pet, I think, in 2020, and I fell in love with it. It was definitely a quick read, but within those pages of it being such a short story, it definitely had a lot that it had a lot to take in, and it was very impactful and powerful, and it also had a lot of things that I think needs to be brought up and acknowledged. So I really did enjoy that book. And then also, let me read the synopsis for the book just in case you don't know what it's about. And, if you haven't read, Pet, that might be another good book that you could read for this prompt. But let me go ahead and read the synopsis for this one. So it says, Bitter is thrilled to have been chosen to attend Eucalyptus, a special school where she can focus on her painting surrounded by other creative teens. But outside this haven, the streets are filled with protests against the deep injustices that grip the town of Lucille. Bitter's instinct is to stay safe within the walls of Eucalyptus, but her friends aren't willing to settle for a world that the adults say is just the way things are. Pulled between old friendships, her creative passion, and a new romance, Bitter isn't sure where she belongs, in the art studio or in the streets. And if she does find a way to help the revolution while being true to who she is, she must also ask at what cost. So yes, I definitely cannot wait to read this. I know this book comes out, I think February the 15th. So that'll probably be when I get it. And, it is a new release. It's not out yet. I know some people have probably gotten an early release or a NetGalley or an ARC. So like I said, I definitely cannot wait to read this book. Like, I fell in love with Pet, and I feel like I'm definitely going to love Bitter as well. Now for the Blackathon, there's 4 prompts, but like I said, I'm going to only be reading 3 books, and I'm going to combine the 3rd prompt and the 4th prompt, which is read a book between 312 and 387 pages. And then the 4th prompt, it says a group book, Escaping Exodus by Nicky, Drayden. So I'm combining the 2 by reading this book. I've been wanting to read this. It's been on my shelves for so long, and I feel like I really need to read my backlist. So yes, this is Escaping Exodus by Nicky, Drayden. There's also another book, which is called Symposius. I don't remember, Symposium, something like that. So I definitely want to read this. And then for the synopsis on the back, it says, Earth is a distant memory. Habitable extrasolar planets are still out of reach. For generations, humanity has been clinging to survival by establishing colonies within enormous vacuum-breathing space beasts and mining their resources to the point of depletion. Rash, dreamy, and unconventional, Siski Kali should be preparing for her future role as clan leader, but her people have just called their latest beast, and she's eager to find the cause of the violent tremors plaguing their new home. Defying social barriers, Siski teams up with her best friend, a beast worker, and ventures into restricted areas for answers to end the mounting fear and rumors. Instead, they discover grim truths about the price of life in the void. Siski is then unexpectedly thrust into the role of a clan matriarch, responsible for thousands of lives in a harsh universe where a single mistake can be fatal. Her claim to the throne is challenged by a rival determined to overthrow her and take control. Her intelligent, cunning, and confident sister. It says Siski may not be a born leader like her sister, yet her unorthodox outlook and incorruptible idealism may be what the clan needs to save themselves and their world. So yes, this is also the group read, but like I said, I'm only going to be reading 3 books, but it definitely fits all the prompts. So definitely cannot wait to read this. But yes, so I'm going to be reading Akata Woman. I'm going to be reading Bitter, and I'm also going to be reading Escaping Exodus by Nicky, Drayden. So this is my Black-a-thon TBR. I definitely can't wait to get started. There's so much stuff that I need to read. It's such short little time due to the fact that February only has like 28 days. So I'm definitely going to be packing in a lot of reading in February. But anyways, so the next readathon, which I'm definitely excited to participate. I had no idea this was coming. It was so unexpected, but I love it. I love all that good stuff. But that is going to be the Missy Elliott Readathon. This was created by Cache from Shay with the Hobbies. She has done a fantastic job with this readathon. I'm so excited to participate and read the group reads. That's what I'm going to be reading. But she also has some great co-hosts along with her. She has Day from Hey It's Day. She also has Britt from Britt Writerly. So I do look forward to reading the 2 group reads. Those are going to be the 2 books I'll be reading for the readathon because it fits all the prompts, which I'm gladly will share with you the prompts first. So for the prompts, it says, first one is Gossip Folks, which I also show the prompts up here so you can see it. But it says Gossip Folks, the LGBTQ rep. 2, 1 Minute Man, Black Romance. 3, Work It, Coming of Age Trope. 4, The Rain, SUPA, DUPA, Fly. Read a book from an author's backlist at least 5 years old. 5, Lose Control, it has multiple POVs. 6, Throw It Back, set in high school or written while you were in high school. And 7, Pass That Dutch, a Black book recommendation. So for the group reads, we have You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson and Waiting to Exhale by Terry McMillan. And both of those books fit all those prompts. So I'm just going to read those 2 books, and I'm so excited to read them. I haven't read Waiting to Exhale. I haven't read it, but I have seen the movie, of course, with Whitney Houston, Angela Bassett. We have everybody in there. So I'm super excited to read that. I haven't really heard much about the book. Like I said, I just watched the movie. Let me know down in the comments if you have read this book already. I'm really interested to see what you think of it. But it's supposed to pretty much for a group of Black women who are waiting to exhale to find their dream man, pretty much their dream Black man. So I definitely cannot wait to read that. And then also You Should See Me in a Crown. I had that book, but then I gave it to a friend because she really wanted it, so I just gave it to her. But I definitely look forward to reading this. And then for the synopsis, I'll read that to you. So it says, Liz Leidy has always believed she's too black, too poor, too awkward to shine in her small, rich, prom-obsessed Midwestern town. But it's okay. Liz has a plan that will get her out of Campbell, Indiana, forever. Attend the uber-elite Pennington College, play in their world-famous orchestra, and become a doctor. But when the financial aid she was counting on unexpectedly falls through, Liz's plans come crashing down until she's reminded of her school's scholarship for prom king and queen. There's nothing Liz wants to do less than endure a gauntlet of social media trolls, catty competitors, and humiliating public events. But despite her devastating fear of the spotlight, she's willing to do whatever it takes to get to Pennington. The only thing that makes it halfway bearable is the new girl in school, Mac. She's smart, funny, and just as much of an outsider as Liz. But Mac is also in the running for queen. Will falling for the competition keep Liz from her dreams or make them come true? So we have that. So I definitely cannot wait to read this. I'm so excited to participate in this, the Missy Elliott Readathon. This is so amazing. I love that the prompts have like the songs attached to it. That's really creative. I just love it so much. So I definitely cannot wait to start reading. Like I said, I'm going to be reading both of the book, the group reads, which is right here. And yeah, so this is for February, all through February, as well as the Black-a-thon, all throughout February. So I cannot wait to read all these books. And then next, I'm also part of a read-along with Erica from The Broken Spine. She had asked if I would love to join and participate with this read-along, and I said yes. I've been wanting to read these books for quite a long time, and I felt like this is the perfect time to do so. And also, we have some lovely co-hosts that that will be joining us as well. All the information of the readathons and also the read-along will be down in the description down below if you get a chance to see that. But we're going to be reading The Poppy War, all 3 books by R.F. Kuang. I definitely cannot wait to read this. Like I said, I really need to attack and read my backlist before I read a lot of new books, which I think I'm doing okay so far. But this is the first book. And of course, I got the paperback because it's nice and floppy. But I am so excited to read this. And then for the synopsis, it says, peasant, student, soldier, goddess. When war orphan Ren aced the Kaju, the empire-wide test to find the most talented youth to learn at the academies, she surprised everyone. Test officials, the guardians who wanted to marry her off, and further their criminal enterprise and even herself. But before a dark-skinned peasant girl from the south is not easy at Sangard, the most elite military school in Nikon. Targeted by rival classmates for her color, poverty, and gender, Ren discovers that gods long thought dead are very much alive, and that she possesses a lethal, unearthly power, an aptitude for the nearly mythical art of shamanism that could be the weapon the Empire desperately needs. While Nakara is at peace, its enemy and former occupiers, the Federation of Mugun, binds its time, and a third Poppy War is just a spark away. Ren's shamanic powers may be the only way to save her people. Yet, as she discovers more about the god that has chosen her, the vengeful phoenix, she fears that winning the war may cost her humanity, and it may already be too late. So yes, I definitely cannot wait to read this. I want to know more about Ren. The storyline is so interesting and it sounds so very powerful and so impactful. So I definitely cannot wait to read this. But yes, this is going to be a read along, which we'll also have some reading sprints throughout the month of February. We don't know the dates just yet, but you'll probably see that along with all of our Instagram and stuff like that for all those updates and dates for that. But also we're going to be doing lives, I think at the end of each month. So February and March and April, we're going to be reading the books. So at the end of each month like every Sunday, the last Sunday of each month, we're going to be doing a live about the books. So you have an entire month to read them. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this. and this world sounds phenomenal. And I'm so excited to be a part of the read along. Thank you so much, Erica, for asking me to read this with you. This is going to be great. And also the reading sprints, I definitely cannot wait for those as well, which, like I said, those dates will probably be posted all over Instagram. And also, if I do have updates and more of an update, I'll leave it also in the description below. That way you get a heads up. But yeah, so we're going to be reading The Poppy War in February. And then in March, we're going to be reading the second one. And then in April, we're going to be reading the third book. So yeah, cannot wait to get started with that. And then also, I have just February reading plans that I need to get to. I have so many books. Well, I guess it's not so many, but it's enough, I think, for the month. You know, I'm not trying to read so many books, but I just can't help it because there's so many great books that I need to read on my backlist, and also there's so many new releases that I want to get a hold of and read all together. But the first book that I want to read is The Girl in the Lake by India Hill Brown. This is her second book, and I definitely cannot wait to read this. So let me read the synopsis for this book. So it says, for fans of Small Spaces, Doll Bones, and Mary Downing Hayne, a truly chilling and historically inspired ghost story from the award-winning author of The Forgotten Girl, Celeste knows she should be excited to spend 2 weeks at her grandparents' lake house with her brother Owen and their cousins Capri and Daisy, but she's not. Bugs, bad cell reception, and the dark waters of the lake, no thanks. On top of that, she just failed her swim test and hates being in the water. It's terrifying. But her grandparents are strong believers in their family knowing how to swim, especially having growing up during a time of segregation at public pools. Without the opportunity to learn, Grandma's sister drowned when they were kids. But soon, strange things start happening, like Celeste's cousins accusing her of waking them up in the middle of the night. But Celeste hasn't been awake during the night. She knows she's been fast asleep because she's been having terrible nightmares about drowning. Things at the old house only get spookier until one evening when Celeste looks in the steamy mirror after a shower and sees her face, but twisted, different. Who is the girl in the mirror, and what does she want? Past and present mingle in this spine-tingling ghost story by India Hill Brown. So yes, I have this on audiobook from Hoopla, so I definitely want to read this. I read The Forgotten Girl in January and I fell in love with it, so I definitely can't wait to read her second book, which is The Girl in the Lake. You know, her first book was about segregated graves, so this is going to be about segregation, but also in a different light. Especially a lot of people in the in the Black community don't know how to swim. Now, I know how to swim. My parents thought it was very, very important for me to learn how to swim. I still have a lot of friends that do not know how to swim, though. And, you know, that's the thing. And so my daughter knows how to swim, and I'm going to be teaching my sons how to swim. I just find it very crucial and important for everyone to know how to swim. So I find this story very fascinating, and I cannot wait to get started and listening to this on audiobook. And so the next book that I'm going to be reading in February is You Truly Assumed by Layla Sabrine. This is going to be coming out on February the 8th. So this is a whole new release. And so, like I said, February the 8th. And I fell in love with the cover overall, and I just cannot wait to get into the story. So it says, Sabria is devastated when a terrorist attack rocks the U.S., stirring anti-Islamic sentiment. She takes solace in writing in her private online journal. You truly assumed, only to discover it isn't private after all, and there are many others out there like her. Zakat knows finding a kindred voice online is fate. Yet, when her own haven is vandalized, Zakat wonders if she'll ever feel safe again. Farah doesn't want to visit her father and his new family, but sometimes a change of place brings a change of heart for Farah, for the boy she might love, and for the new friends she meets through You Truly Assumed. When threatening comments and emails try to silence them, the three Black Muslim girls must decide, shut things down and stay safe, or risk it all and let their voices be heard. So with this has Black Muslim representation. This story also includes major themes of intersectionality, racism, xenophobia, and friendship. So I definitely cannot wait to read this. And it says, this thought-provoking, heartfelt novel is for fans of Samir Ahmed, Tara Mafi, and Nick Stone. So definitely cannot wait to read this. Like I said, it comes out on February the 8th. So I definitely look forward to, start reading it as soon as possible. But yeah, this is another book that I do plan on reading in February. And then the next book, this is my book of the month pick, and I wanted to read this, and I was able to get it from Libby. So I have an audiobook, which I'll probably be hybrid reading it. And this is Yinka, Where Is Your Husband? And this is by Lizzie Damilalo Lola Blackburn. Hopefully I said her name right. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I thought this would be a great story to read. I definitely love the cover and also the title, Yinka, Where's Your Husband? So I thought this was really cute. But for the synopsis, it says, meet Yinka, a 30-something Oxford-educated British Nigerian woman whose mother's constant refrain is, Yinka, where is your husband? It says Yinka's Nigerian aunties frequently pray for her delivery from singledom. Her work friends think she's too traditional. She's saving herself for marriage. Her girlfriends think she needs to get over her ex already and the men in her life. Well, that's a whole other story. But Yinka herself has always believed that true love will find her when the time is right. Still, when her cousin Rachel gets engaged, Yinka commences Operation Wedding Date. Aided by a spreadsheet and her best friend, Yinka is determined to succeed. Will Yinka find herself a husband? And what if the thing she really needs to find is herself? Yinka, Where's Your Husband? Brilliantly subverts the traditional romantic comedy with an unconventional heroine who bravely asks the questions we all have about love. Right, acerbic, moving, this is a love story that makes you smile but also makes you think and explores what it means to find your way between two cultures, both of which are yours. So yes, I definitely cannot wait to read this. Like I said, I have it on audiobook, so I'm going to be hybrid reading it. But I definitely wanted to read this before, in February. So we have that. Next book I'll be reading is Our Violet Ends by Chloe Gong. This is the second book of the duology. The first book was These Violent Delights. Yeah, right there. And so this is the second book, Our Violet Ends. This, the first book was pretty much a Romeo and Juliet retelling in a way during the 1920s in Shanghai. So we're going to be having a continuation of that. So I definitely wanted to read this. I was able to get this from Fairy Loot. This is the Fairy Loot exclusive, along with the first edition, the first book that I have as well. So yeah, definitely cannot wait to read this in February. Next book, this is the third book of a trilogy, and that is The Bronze Beast by Roshani Chomsky. It even says, in love they breathed, in destiny they believed, in the end will divinity be their demise. So this is definitely going to be a great book. I've read the first two books. I read the Silver Serpents and the Gilded Wolves. This is like a fantasy, like historical fiction fantasy type of book. So I definitely cannot wait to read this. I love historical fiction and I do love fantasy, and it mixed together is just a beautifully written like trilogy, which I love the characters. Everyone's so diverse. There's a queer rep in it as well in all three books. So yeah, definitely cannot wait to read this as well. And then I believe that is it. That is all the books I do plan on reading in February. I know it's not a lot, but I think it's enough for me. I definitely don't want to push myself too hard. I was thinking about also putting in the new book by Sarah J. Maas, which is the second book of House of Blood and Earth. But I might just push that back into March. I might just do that because I'm still trying to finish the first book, because literally when you read it, sometimes you have to put it down because it's so much information, like literally at the very beginning, and it can be overwhelming. So there's that. So probably the first book, House of Blood and Earth or whatever, I'm probably going to be pushing that into February, but who knows, I might be able to finish it before February begins. But that is it. That is all the books I do plan on reading in February. We have the Black-a-thon, we have the Missy Elliott Readathon, and we also have the Poppy War Readalong, and also some books that I've been wanting to read for a very long time now. So yes, that is it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Also, hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified when I upload more videos in the future. But thank you so much for watching, you guys, and please stay healthy and stay safe. See ya.